sometimes it's just easier to record a video response. So this is to Derek Stutzman's question associated with what I'm working on currently while I'm in Moss Vale in New South Wales. Now, the weather here is actually really quite chilly. I think it's in the high 60s in the American vernacular currently, and it's not, well, it's still kind of smoky, but it's not as heavily smoky as it was previously. There was a fire that occurred maybe 17, what is it, let me do the conversion, 12, 13 miles away. But thankfully that was contained very rapidly. And there are fires to the north. Most of them are fires to the north, actually. So, yeah, it's actually quite chilly. Anyway, so I was looking for a vacation project, basically. And one of the things that's always interested me is Bob Mottram worked on my simulation stuff and donated a lot of source to it up until about 2012, 2013. And he worked on two projects following that, which are also of immense interest to me. One was called libdeep, which is machine learning, the kind of introductory machine learning library, basically, which was, for me, just fascinating. And the second thing he worked on was monkeymind, which was basically similar in part to his implementation through my simulation. This is a passenger train coming back here. Similar to his implementation with my simulation stuff, but just take it to a different level, different direction, basically. So these two things were on Bob's GitHub repository, and when he left GitHub, he didn't continue to maintain them. Now, thankfully, a few people had forked them, but the forks were just falling by the wayside. And what I've done initially is put continuous integration tools, so basically make sure the unit tests are run every time the simulation, the packages are run. But then libdeep has maybe 6 different examples of basic machine learning, both language and image-based machine learning. And I wanted to provide unit testing for that as well because I wanted to do additional development. One of the things that I find is really cool, which is standard with, what's it called, TensorFlow and these kind of ML, whatever, packages, processing packages, is that libdeep also provides output in Python and C. So you can create a model, do some learning on it, and then get the output from the learning, which you can then integrate. So my thought was to use libdeep for certain problems within my own simulation, get the output from that, and then use the output files, but also the connective stuff with libdeep. And with monkeymind so Bob's work basically within my simulation is updated after the fact, and particularly around the language stuff that Bob started, I've spent more time on. So all that is moved further in my own simulation work than was represented in the monkeymind point. So my interest is, can I take monkeymind, reintegrate it back into my simulation work, which was formerly called Noble Ape, now called the Ape SDK, and what will happen with all of that. So that is my thinking currently. But Bob has this amazing ability to just distill down not a drop more, but everything that is needed in order to do something. And libdeep is just a beautiful kind of standalone library, and I think probably considerably more powerful than the other things that I've evaluated for doing something similar. I mean, I could use TensorFlow, which would probably get me a bunch of new users, and I could use a variety of other existing things, but I just really like what Bob did with libdeep, and I'd like to continue on that legacy, basically. But yeah, in terms of something to work on while you're jet-lagged, really very useful. Anyway, so that's my answer to Derek Stutzman associated with what I'm doing currently, and I'll put the links to the two projects, or at least my forks of the two projects, in the video description. So Tom Bartley from Moss Vale, chilly Moss Vale. It's the 23rd of December here in Australia. And yeah, they're not talking about the weather changes. We've had rain here twice over the past 2 days. So basically the fires in this area, I think just the rain and the cold are working against them. So this is the first day I've had the opportunity actually we walked yesterday. but this is the first day of it where, there's no appreciable, although maybe we're just sensorily deprived, but there's no appreciable smell of smoke today. Whereas for the 3 days that we've been here so far, the first night we were here, it was really difficult to breathe actually. Yesterday we went out for quite a walk, and we still had trouble breathing through that. But now we're actually breathing again, which is a good thing. Anyway, Tom Barbalet in Mossvale signing out.